Hello everybody, welcome to Wine World TV, the best wine show anywhere. I'm your host, Mark Fusco. Before we get started, make sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel. Every like and subscription helps build the channel. Even better, spread the word to your friends about the best wine show anywhere. All right, so today's wine is part of a group of wines I got at the end of 2023. So yeah, it's been a minute. This is a free sample and I have free range to review it however I wish. The person behind this wine is none other than Susana Balbo. Not Balboa, Balbo. There's no A at the end. Though in my head, I always think it's Balboa, even though I know it's not. Anyway, she is one of the most iconic winemakers in Argentina, along with Dr. Laura Catena. They are two of the most respected winemakers in the country, who happen to also be women, by the way, okay? And while I didn't know a ton about Susana before doing my research for this episode, I at least knew she was a highly respected winemaker and is essentially credited with making Torrontés a premium grape. She's kind of known as the, quote, Queen of Torrontés. All right, so she graduated from Don Bosco University in Mendoza in 1981, making her the first female winemaker in Argentina. Being a woman in a very male-dominated industry, she found it difficult to get her first job, but she eventually was hired to run the Succession Michel Torino winery in Cafayate, Salta. It might be Miquel, I'm not sure. Anyway, in 1990, she moved back to Mendoza and started a consulting business the following year. In 1999, she founded Susana Balbo. I'm not sure if the winery was already there and she took it over and renamed it, or if the original name was Dominio del Plata and she changed it shortly afterwards. The bio doesn't specify. About 10 years after starting her winery, her children are now involved. One is the current winemaker and the other handles marketing. So we have a clear line of succession, which is lacking in so many modern wineries, especially outside of Europe. I'm not sure about the exact dates, but at some point after starting her winery, she either acquired or created a few more wineries. Besides the Susana Balbo brand, she also owns Crios, Nosotros, and Ben Marco, which I didn't realize that until I did the research. Each winery has a variety of wines they create. One of the things Susana is passionate about is sustainability. It's a major focus across all of her properties. Today's wine is 2022 Susana Balbo Signature White Blend. It's part of their Brioso line with their signature series. Brioso means, quote, a spirited love of challenge. It is meant to express Susana's, quote, passion to drive to create a wine that reaches the pinnacle of quality. There are only two Brioso wines, this one and a red Bordeaux blend. We have a combination of Semillon, Sauvignon Blanc, and Torrontés. Basically a white Bordeaux blend with Torrontés. I'm kind of interested to see how this turns out. We're at an altitude of close to 3,800 feet in the Paraje Altamira district in the Valle de Uco of Mendoza. And all the grapes are hand harvested. Let's get the stats for this wine. The 2022 Susana Balbo Signature White Blend, suggested retail price $25. From Argentina in Mendoza, Valle de Uco, Paraje Altamira. Elevation is 1,150 meters or about 3,770 feet. It is 38% Semillon, 34% Sauvignon Blanc, and 28% Torrontés. Fermentation. So the Sauvignon Blanc and the Semillon, they go through, they are macerated in the press with dry ice for 4 hours, then pressed and fined for 36 hours. The Semillon is fermented in concrete eggs, and the Sauvignon Blanc is fermented in barrels, and native yeast is used for both. Fermentation for the Torrontés is destemmed, no maceration during pressing, fermentation in barrel with selected yeasts, aged on lees for 2 months. It is racked with an additional 4 months of aging. All right, so aging, the final aging is 5 months in French barrels, 60% new and 40% second use. The ABV is 12%, and the TA, or the total acidity, is 6.2 grams per liter. Let's get into the wine. I'm super excited about trying this wine. So, fun fact about Torrontés. I had this wine. It's a cork, right? Just making sure. Hey, you know what? This may not be a cork. It looks like a cork, but so I don't know if you can tell, this little, zoom in, right here, that might be the top of a glass stopper. So we're about to find out. Anyway, so I had this bottle of wine, mystery bottle of wine. All it was the bottle. No label. It was a screw cap, but the screw cap had nothing on it to tell you what it was. And yep, it's a glass. It is a glass stopper. Anyway, so I couldn't figure out what it was, so I ended up just opening the bottle, and I smell it, and what I was tasting it in wasn't a glass. It was you don't really get a lot of aromas, so I didn't really catch it on the nose. But then once I put it on the palate, it was like, it's Trontis or Gewurz, super floral. All right, kind of cool to have a little glass top. Though, some feedback. Don't do that, because people are going to think that it's a cork. And if you have a Corvin, I mean, if I really had pressed it hard, I would have bent my needle, and I don't have another needle. So, just feedback that make it so it's obvious it's in one of these. So I'll probably be drinking this tonight. Anyway, super excited. Anyway, so yeah, on the palate and all that, I guess it was Trontis. I felt good. I was like, yeah, Trontis. Okay. I put a little more wine I should have in here, but kind of a deep yellow, almost gold color, and it's pretty much just yellow. No green, no other hues or silver or platinum that you sometimes get with white wines. It's just yellow. It's cool. All right. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot going on, and the thing is, I'm having a hard time even like thinking. It's just, I'm getting overwhelmed with all kinds of things, like all the things. All right, so let's break it down. First, we get some florality here. So like orange blossom and gardenia and other white flowers. Okay, I'm not really great at identifying flowers per se, but that's what the first things that come to mind. Azalea, that's it. Azalea. Growing up, we had azalea plants, so that aroma is a little more prominent or more recognizable to me. Azalea, yeah. Honeysuckle, and then we've got like cantaloupe, mango, papaya. Mango, papaya. Some tropical thing going on here. It's probably that's probably all from the Sauvignon Blanc. Guava, yeah, guava. Yeah, more than anything else. Yeah, a little bit of honeysuckle, like almost a touch of honey. Semillon sometimes can give a honey quality, and you've got all the florals. That's really Trontis. I mean, you've got some, man, and there was some oak in here, but I don't remember being a lot of new oak, if anything. Oh no, it was new oak. So I don't get necessarily new oak, but that might come on the palate, because this is really just fruits and flowers. No like baking spices or vanilla or caramel or things like that. Now the color might also come from a little bit of the occasion, because it will leach some color out of the wood. Let's just try it, man. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the first episode of the whole series of all this the first four wines weren't backlog wines. They were newer wines. But everything's room temperature now. I know the second Chardonnay I mentioned about the room temperature stuff. So just everything. It's just an explosion of flavor. So everything I said before is there. Just kind of enhanced a little bit more. And I get some a little bit over, I get like the the meat of the papaya, you know, where the seeds are, all that kind of gooey part. It's like all that goodness right there. Not just the fruit part, but all that, like, I don't want to say slimy, but it doesn't taste slimy. It doesn't feel slimy. But you have all that just, oh man, like cantaloupe. Yeah, like all the stuff in all the real interior. You're getting kind of that extra bit of flavor there. Not sweet by any means, just ripe and flavorful. Again, if there's even 60% new oak, it doesn't feel like it's really impacting the wine terribly. I mean, I don't mean the word terrible, but impacting the wine a lot as far as fruit and aroma. I mean, if you told me that this was all neutral oak, I'd believe you. If you told me it's like concrete and steel, I might go, well, there is a bit of smoothness to it, right? I mean, Torrontés isn't necessarily a high acid grape. Sauvignon Blanc is. Sauvignon isn't necessarily high acid. You know, the acidity overall was 6.2. I don't know what the pH is, but I'm going to guess the pH was probably around 3.4, 3.5, 3.35, something like that. But there is this kind of like a spice shop or not Whole Foods, like a World Market type of vibe going on. So there is a bit of that kind of spice rack, but nothing specific. So I don't get anything like, oh, that's, you know, cinnamon or that clove or, you know, cardamom or whatever. You know, it's not necessarily, it's more like a general vibe of walking into like a World Market, or back in the day, Pier 1 Imports, you know, a spice shop type of thing. Almost like incense. Almost like more like incense than necessarily spices. It is killer. How much is this thing again? 20. It's under $30, right? 20, 25. This is killer juice, Susana. I mean, I don't drink a lot of your stuff, but this is fantastic. I love it. If you can find this, you need to drink this. So I got to put this under vacuum in. No, I mean, I'll try some of it tonight, maybe. Depends on what we're having for dinner tonight. But vacuum in this. I mean, I'm going to enjoy this. This is good. Yeah, I got to swallow that. That's good. All right, so that's going to do it for today's show. If I don't stop now, I'm just going to sit here and just keep drinking. If you enjoy what I'm doing here, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and then tell your friends. And see you next time, hopefully with more Susana Balbo. It's going to be a while. I don't have any other wines from her, but man, I need to seek out more of her stuff. Laters.